Teammates, family, associates, connections. Good morning. Jeff Nail here. Interesting times. We got a lot of things going on right now in terms of of course, the pandemic, the virus. We got social injustices. We got people losing their jobs. People just experiencing the most right now, if you will, without going too far into detail with anything. But it kind of put into perspective a conversation that I have with a lot of people, and it's almost like a hypocritical thought, but yet and still I strongly believe it. I feel like we as people put labels and generalizations and stereotypes onto people, places, or things to allow our brains and our minds and our bodies to go into autopilot. So if you group a certain amount or a certain people up, a certain number of things together, it's easy to find a commonality, whether it be the color of skin, the amount of hair follicles on one's head, or one's chin, religion, job industries, all that good stuff. But the fact that remains is that regardless of these large commonalities and generalizations, like, we're all different and unique. And the more that you go into autopilot, believing that you know someone based on their body language, their appearance, so on and so forth, the more likely that you are wrong. And I listened to a podcast. I always share this podcast. It was on the art of charm. I watched it like maybe 2 years ago, or longer now. And it was about body language. But the purpose of the the purpose of the podcast was to share that as good as we may be at reading body language, as many books as we read, as many skill levels that we climb up, you're still at best 50% in terms of being right and or wrong in the act of reading body language. And I think that with generalization, stereotypes, extreme labeling, we put ourselves in predicaments to rely on our gut instinct or our interpretation or lack of communication. Like, we're reading between the lines, and a lot of times we create false narratives in terms of someone's intentions, thoughts, feelings, concerns. I'll often challenge folks that I talk to when they tell me that somebody said it like this, or, I just challenge in terms of, how did they say it like? Like, what did they do? Did they say it, or did they not say it? And I even do that with myself, oftentimes when I feel a certain kind of way, whether it be getting too excited or not excited at all, or the opposite, getting angry. I look at it and I ask myself, did this person actually say this to me, or did they say it and it struck a chord in my being where I jumped to a conclusion or two? And I say all that to say that, how often do we generalize, or you generalize, or do I generalize, and miss out on some magic that somebody may be providing just because we listened and were moved by these archaic cliches of, first impressions and all that jazz. I mean, like, yeah, first impressions are lasting, but they don't have to be permanent. And I think that if we give folks a proper opportunity to both make an impression and also the patience to allow people to mess up and recover, I think that that's the magic that we're oftentimes missing out on. And I'm always cognizant of time, but I want to end with this. I pride myself, like, my career has led me into some circles that I probably would not have been in had I not changed careers almost 5 years ago, or no, over 5 years ago now. And I feel oftentimes that we put ourselves in positions where we want to be around, even with social media, we want to be around people that think, act, feel, and look sometimes the same as we see ourselves. And I believe that we can shoot ourselves in the foot. Whether it's some things that we're so divisive on right now, but I feel like if we surround ourselves with people who think differently than we think, you have a better opportunity of making a difference in terms of giving somebody a different perspective, or even gaining a new perspective yourself. And it also brings together and closes out some of the nuances that we learn about people when we're not interacting with people. If you're not interacting with someone and you're taking somebody else's perspective of that person, that industry, that religion, that company, whatever it is, then you might be doing a disservice to yourself and to other people. Because I think that in this world we just need to take time to understand each other a little bit better, and over time, and also with understanding each other, allow others to mess up and create safe zones where people can have legitimate conversations where we may not walk away even agreeing, but a new perspective is found. I appreciate you guys listening. A little bit somber today, but I thought that it was a good conversation to have. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, and we'll see you next time.